Okay gang, time for one of my infectiously energetic, hype-laden trailer reactions. It's E3 week, there are a lot of trailers, and I've only really got the opportunity to talk about the most exciting, the most interesting, the most relevant to me, and as a Soulsborne fanboy, this is a From Software title, so I gotta look at it. This is Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, and it does look pretty. We got ourselves some samurai fighting. Some of the monster design is really good from what we've seen so far. He's got a skeleton hand. He's basically a skeleton Luke Skywalker, so we can't complain about that. He's got very hairy legs. From Software, yes! And... wait, hold on just a second. Activision? Activision? No. No, thank you. No. What? No. Why? Activision, why? Why Activision, why? Why act? What?
Consensual penis!
Fella on a bit of wood there, bit of a log, as the camera pans round, showing some nice environments, which you expect from Software these days. They do very detailed environments, usually very desolate, barely occupied environments, because we're usually treading through the ruins of a once great realm. But here, it looks like stuff's going on. These folks don't look like, hollowed out mutant dregs. They look like just regular blokes, except for the bosses, which, as is typical for From, most of them seem to be bloody massive. This one not so big. That, I think, was a hat shield. Either way, the way it unfurled was incredible. Fell in the stocks there, as we see again, massive, ludicrously massive. Looks a bit like a lycanthrope from Dark Souls 3. They were sort of, well, they had crosses on their backs, not stocks, but same thing, same difference. It's not. Yeah, massive people as bosses, it seems. Unnaturally huge people that you don't even know how they'd get into a doorway. But we don't really think about it because they're a boss, so it's fine. The game does look fun. I mean, it's From Software, so you expect a certain level of quality. And certainly a good combat system, which this seems to have. But we're only really looking at it, so who can be doubly extra super duper? Sure, that looks awesome. That's a fun boss fight from the looks of things. If it is a boss fight, it might be a regular enemy. You might be able to fight a giant horse bastard every other level. But it was good looking for what it was showing there. They're always inventive when it comes to those big climactic battles, and that was a big snake. And that's Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. It's coming in 2019, and that's exciting. A bit. Till you remember the publisher. So yes, when this was revealed at E3, it was first very interesting, very exciting. We wanted to see more of From's game, and then that Activision logo came up, and it says something about the legacy you've crafted as a publisher, where your involvement, the sheer mention of your name, can tank the excitement, at least for this cheeky chappie, who normally will lap up anything From Software has to give him. I want to be all about this, but that all-about-ism is now tempered with a healthy dose of worry, because Activision's involved, and I realise I'm only speaking for myself here, but some people, I feel, are going to be rightly disappointed that Activision's name is attached, because they are pond scum. Activision, I mean, are pond scum, not the people that are worried about Sekiro because of Activision's involvement, of course. Of course. Not everyone, of course, probably not even the majority, but certainly a big enough minority to where you as a company must, if you've any self-awareness, think, maybe we're dickheads. But then they still make tons of money, so even if they are dickheads, even if they were aware of it, it wouldn't really matter, would it? I mean, if you look how fast Warner Brothers Interactive Warner Brothers'd up Hitman 2 after it was announced, that's already got its silver and gold edition and a whole bunch of pre-order chicanery. One does dread to think what Activision could do with a From Software title, the ways in which it could monetize it, the ways in which it could try and bilk extra money out of the customers. And you expect a certain level of class From Software. They've always had very good DLC offerings, and in general they let the games speak for and sell themselves. Or at least their prior publisher Namco Bandai would let the games speak for and sell themselves, since the buck does stop with them. And that runs counter to modern day Activision, a company that has quite literally, in documents they ain't ashamed of, documented ways in which it can psychologically manipulate its audience into spending more money. Now that's not a company I want to see any good game attached to. Ideally, I don't want any game attached to Activision anymore, because fuck them. And I don't think that's a particularly cynical frame of mind, because again, Activision has documents showing that it's a fucking wank stain. Now all that said, Activision at least at one point only forced its Major League bullshit into its Major League games. You look at some of the games it's published, like some of the Platinum titles, and Activision was there primarily as a rights holder for the stuff that Platinum wanted to make games for. Now, at least one of those games was okay, and at least one of those games was terrible. And as far as Sekiro Shadows Die Twice goes, we can only cross our fingers and hope that Activision decides not to Activision this. It would have been worse if Activision had bought From Software, because then they really could push them around and just ham-fistedly shovel any sort of monetization they want into the product. But with this slightly more disconnected publisher-developer relationship, From Software should have a lot more say, plus From Software right now is something of a big dog, not a massive dog in the yard. It's not like Roman Reigns, but they've got clout, they've got respect, they've got pedigree, so Activision should, fingers crossed, not fuck with them. But hey, it says a lot about Activision that that's what we're having to worry about, that's the concern, is will they fuck this up? Will they? On purpose. It's not like if Atari was publishing something. You'd already know. Well, they're gonna somehow ruin this through sheer incompetence, whereas with Activision, they are going to tinker with this out of sheer malice. I certainly hope they won't. And I hope Activision is proud of that legacy it's left behind. But as for Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, it looks beautiful. It looks like From have pushed the boat out. Fingers crossed, Activision just lets it be a game.